By request, kick-ass facts, chewing gum. Pew, 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 pew! I came here to do two things. Share some facts and chew some gum. And I'm all out of gum. According to history, Europeans were likely chewing on birch bark tar around 9,000 years ago, and the ancient Mayans chewed the sapodilla tree's chicle to freshen their breath, work the maize out of their teeth, quench thirst, and fight hunger. Chicle continued to serve as the main ingredient in most chewing gums until the mid-20th century. Later, the Aztecs started chewing chicle, though they were a little bit more rigid than the Mayans were about who could chew it. They made rules about who could chew chicle. Only kids and old women could do it publicly. Men who chewed chicle were seen as effeminate, while younger women who did it were assumed to be prostitutes. Anyone of adult age who chewed it was considered vulgar. During the World Wars, Wrigley chewing gum was included in military rations as it was believed to help soldiers with their stress, thirst, and hunger. A 2008 study published in Nutrition Today found that chewing gum may have a positive impact on cognitive function, specifically concentration and focus, and even in helping individuals cope with life's small stresses. Although science hasn't yet figured out the specifics of why this is, a more recent study noted that since gum increases the flow of oxygen to parts of the brain in charge of attention, it may make people more alert and improve their reflexes. Other researchers say it's due to the mastication-induced arousal, 3 words I never thought would be put together, which means that the act of chewing gum keeps people fully focused on task. Until around World War II, most gum came from the sapodilla trees that grow in the rainforests of southern Mexico and Central America. Workers were known as chicleros, would scale up the tree, cut zigzag patterns into the bark on their way down. In response to the cutting, the trees would secrete chicle. As the natural latex ran down toward the base, it was collected in small pots. Once those pots had been filled, the chicle was dried and then transported to manufacturers. By the 1920s, Americans were chewing about 105 sticks of gum per year. It's about 300 sticks per year now. At the time, the demand for chicle eventually killed a large portion of Mexico's sapodilla trees. Looking for an alternative, gum manufacturers developed less expensive synthetic bases. Hold on to your hats. Gum is made of 3 things: a resin for chewiness, wax for softness, and elastomers that maintain its elasticity. Early chewing gums were made from tree-based resins and natural waxes. These days, ingredients are synthetically derived from petrochemicals. A key ingredient in most chewing gums is polyvinyl acetate, plastic, which is also used in the production of glue, plastic bags, and bottles. According to an Iceland Commission study, 85% of people didn't know there was plastic in gum. Gum is so shelf stable, there is no law requiring an expiration date for, of course, because it's fucking plastic. William Wrigley Jr. started out as a soap salesman in Philadelphia. After moving to Chicago in 1891, he began offering store owners incentives to stock his products, such as free cans of baking powder with every order. When the baking powder proved a bigger hit than the soap, he sold that and added free packs of chewing gum as a promotion. That did better than the baking powder. In 1893, he launched Juicy Fruit and Wrigley Spearmint. In 1915, the Wrigley Company sent free samples to millions of Americans listed in the phone book. Bubblegum traces its origins back to inventor William Diemer, or Deemer. Dealer's choice. Probably not, though. Deemer was an employee of Frank Fleer, whose company started making chewing gum around 1885. Fleer wanted to sell something different than his competitors and spent years working on a product that can be blown into bubbles. In 1906, he concocted a bubblegum he called Blibber Blubber. That's fun to say. Say it with me. But really, pop the bees. Blubber Blubber. Blibber Blubber. Good times. But it was too sticky. After fiddling with Fleer's recipe in 1928, Deemer invented a bubble gum that is still sold today, Double Bubble. The reason it's pink? It was the only color he had left. Is Double Bubble the one that came with a little comic wrapped around it that you could never get all the paper off of it? Was that Double Bubble, Bubblicious, or Hubba Bub? Irrelevant. If you are chewing gum while cutting onions, it will stop your eyes from watering because while chewing on gum, you breathe through your mouth rather than your nose, so the irritation caused by the onion scent will reach the lacrimal glands in smaller amounts. Swallowed gum will not clog up your intestines. Gum base cannot be digested, so you'll just poop it out a couple of days later. Chewing gum makes your salivary glands produce 250% more saliva than normal, so you swallow more. This helps balance the pressure in your head so your ears won't pop on an airplane. Back in the 1920s, Prohibition increased gum sales because people needed to mask the smell of alcohol on their breath. When Prohibition was enacted, Adams Clove Gum hit the market with the slogan, "It takes your breath away." You can remove gum from your hair using peanut butter. Separate the hair, work the peanut butter into it. The oil in the peanut butter will help separate the gum. We use vegetable oil to take a piece of Velcro of my mom's dog's face. Studies have shown that having chewing gum after a meal helps with heartburn as it can reduce acid in the esophagus. The largest bubble ever blown was 23 inches in diameter. The largest bubble blown with the nose was 11 inches. North American children spend about $500 million a year on gum. That translates to the selling of 1.6 million pieces every hour, 26,000 pieces every minute, and 444 pieces per second. The energy Americans expend every day when chewing bubble gum is enough to light a city of 10 million people. And in Africa, various tribes accept large quantities of bubblegum instead of sheep and oxen as payment for a wife.